Hey guys, this is Swift here, and today I'll talk to you a bit more about recording HDMI footage, footage through HDMI output. In particular, we'll talk about the PS3 HDMI output. There are the most common way of doing things with the PS3 is actually through the component out, but that gives quite a bit of problem, because depending on the capture card you're using, you might have to use converters and stuff like that, or you might have to use a TV, which for my case is quite inconvenient because here in my recording setup I'm actually hooked up to two computer monitors, and these monitors do not have any component in. So I'm also using the HDMI Colossus as my capture card. If you haven't, you do know that there is no HDMI out. So there's only a component in for the PS3 in. You can see all my other setup videos I've posted up previously, and once you do component in, you have to have a component out. And since my monitors do not have a component out, I had to use a converter, which was quite troublesome, and the quality of video was affected on my end, not yours, but mine. And so, and one more thing is that the Colossus, I'll just show you a little bit. What happened to my Colossus was that the connector, the breakup cable here, it's spoiled. Both of them were spoiled, and I cannot display anything in or out. And getting these replacements, sorry about that, the camera died. Getting these replacements were quite difficult, as the place was quite out of the way, and it cost quite a bit. I believe it was $10 US per breakout cable, but nevertheless I gotten two of a replacement so that I could do any other component recording. But at the same time, I did get my converter that you see here, and what this device here is a key thing to allow you to record your HDMI output from your PS3. So effectively, if what you guys want to know, this here says it's compliant with HDCP, but what it does, I believe, and it most probably is what it is that when it comes out, the output HDMI from this converter, the HDCP is somewhat strict. You can search that up online and Google it up, HDCP stripping, and you'll learn a lot more about that. Now, so this thing here, you can get it anywhere, not anywhere, most places. For you Americans, you can get it in mono price. They do have one with a logo here, I believe, some other logo here, but it generally looks the same thing. And the one I got here is from eBay, actually. Let's say made in infamous China. Of course, they would produce such things. And here are the connectors at the back. So now this thing isn't that expensive, but it does cost quite a bit. It's actually about $40 US, inclusive of shipping here to Singapore. And so thereabouts about 50-60 Sing dollars altogether. But this will allow you to capture HDMI footage from not just your PS3, but anything really, your DVD recorder or whichever thing, Blu-ray recorder. But I don't suggest you do that for any illegal purposes, just for you to do maybe gameplay recordings or original content, that is. So this thing here, what you want to do is you have to have several other things with you. And so, well, you get this, you might as well get ready with all the other things. If you're gonna, we're just talking about specifically PS3 recording. So from your PS3, we will need a DVI to HDMI out. DVI to HDMI cable. As you can see here, DVI to HDMI. You will need a you will need a optical cable as well, Toslink cable, and all these are actually very cheap. You can get them for $1 each or something through eBay or whichever means. So you need one of that, and you obviously need your HDMI cable for the output. So if you're using the Colossus that doesn't allow for HDMI to HDMI conversion, you will need to use a splitter a HDMI splitter, which will go from 1 in to 2 out, or whichever, how many monitors you want, how many recordings you want. For mine is 1 in to 2 out, 1 to my monitor for me to see, and 1 into the closest. So you just plugged in, it's very simple. It's self-explanatory, really. The HDMI, this part of the DVI, the HDMI cable goes directly to your PS3, and then the DVI here goes into here, the input here. Then optical out from your PS3 into the optical in here, and then you can just go ahead and do HDMI out. The audio will be encoded into the HDMI, so you can record directly off audio and video through HDMI cable, and that would be about it. So once you do that, you realize that your PS3 footage will be recorded, will be shown, and all my previous videos of this year are basically based off this setup. So if you have any problems, do let me know. You can search this up, DVI to HDMI. It should look like this. There are other versions that is the smaller one. It's like probably this size, this size of the thing. I'm not sure if it'll work. Never personally tried it out, but this converter here is guaranteed to work. So yeah, you'll be recording footage. Of course, if you're using things such as the HD PVR2, which allows you to plug in your component out from your PS3 into the HD PVR2, and allows you to do HDMI out directly. It does convert the analog to digital signals, then you're good to go. Or if you have a TV and stuff like that, this is not really relevant to you. But for those of you who need a HDMI out from your PS3 for whatever reason, this is the way to go.